Okay, this video is going to cover dynamic cross sections and what we mean by dynamic cross sections. Right now I'm in a name boundary file. As you can see, I've got some in the 2D view. I have these pattern lines out here representing what would be cross section drawing and sheet models. And over in the 3D, the model area, you can see we have the shapes representing where the cross sections are going to be cut. Okay, and when you cut them, you get the multitudes of different drawing models and sheet models. So that's already been done in this project. I just want to stress and show how dynamic works. When they say dynamic, dynamic does not mean that we can move these name boundaries around on either the 2D or the 3D. That doesn't work. So that's not dynamic. What do I mean by dynamic is we can change the profile however you want, and you can change anything dealing with your corridor. So if you change your template drops or points in your template drops, slopes, pavement widths, anything that you change in there will be reflected in our name boundary cross section file. Okay, so right now I'm in the multi-model view, as you can see down here. And if I go into a drawing model, you can see all the drawing models with the gray little icon here, and I'll just go into 4+00. We'll give it a little look. So this drawing model was created with just the elevation, offset, and slopes. So the annotation group that I used on this one was without any grid. You can see the name of the alignment, which is this dynamic road, is what I called it. Just something I just created just to show in this demo. You can see our elevation offsets are where they're at, and we have our slopes. So this is what it looks like with the project. Now I'm going to go over and I'm going to change some things. I'm going to move that profile, and I'll probably change maybe some pavement widths and some slopes so we can see that dynamic at work. Okay, so this is the drawing model in the name boundary cross section file. So I'm going to go over to the civil geometry file for this, which I have named dynamic cross section civil geometry. Open that one up. And check in my changes, which wasn't much. So here I am in my civil geometry file. I've got my profile out here, and I will select it and look at it. And we've got some information out here. We've got a 5% slope here, and we've got 200-foot curve length. So let's just change some things. I'm going to come in and I'll change this 200 foot to maybe 400 feet. Okay, so let's adjust that profile a little bit, and let's change this from 5% maybe down to 4%. Now the way this works with this tool is if it's orange or brown, you can modify it. If it's white, you cannot. So what you have to do is click in a blank area, click the alignment again, then right click over the number that you want to modify. Then it gives it to you. Then it's brown, orange, whatever color. You can select it, and we'll make it a -4%. So our profile has changed. I'll click off in a blank area and click on it again. You can see 400 feet on that vertical curve, and then a 4% slope there. So we're good. Okay, that's all I want to do in this file. I've modified it. I apologize for the throat stuff. I'll open up my corridors file for this project, the dynamic cross section one. And I'm going to change the template drop. And when you open this file up, you can see that I've got a few things going on here. A few windows opened up. I have my 2D, my 3D, I have a profile in the background, and I have a dynamic cross section showing me what my template looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the width of this right lane here. We'll make that 24 feet. And then I'm going to change the slopes from 33 to 50%, just to, again, to show how dynamic cross sections are now. So I'll go off into the 2D view. I will select the template drop. You can see the limits of construction out here, but I'm going to select the template drop. Go to the second icon, which is the edit template drop. Open it up, and it takes a little bit to load. So once we've got that opened up, I'm going to start modifying those points. So the first one I'm going to look at is pavement. I'm going to open it up, double click. I'm going to make it 24 feet. So we're going to send that out there. Apply. You can see it's moved it out quite a bit. Then I'm going to pick the next point. I'm going to do that fill slope. I'm going to change that to minus 50%. 50. I'll apply it. See it change for me. And I'll hit the pick button and go pick these ditch 4 slope. We'll change that first to 50%, minus 50. Apply. So we'll go change the ditch back slope. We'll call this 50%. And we'll hit apply. And then we'll close. And everything's been modified here, so I'll hit OK. And you'll see in the dynamic cross sections what we've changed. We've changed that pavement width and these couple of slopes here. So at station 4+00, where I'm at, you can see what's going on. So once that's been changed, everything's been edited, we go back into that name boundary with the cross sections. So we'll browse, name boundary cross section for the dynamic cross section. We'll open it up. We'll check in our changes. And we left it at this, I believe it, yeah, 4+00. And you can see that it has changed. Now the annotation is still laying where it was at. But you can see on the right side here, well, our pavement's wider. And you see our slope has changed. It's not 3:1 anymore on these. So what we can do, and it's a real simple solution. The dynamic part works with the geometry, with the civil geometry, and with the corridors, but it does not work with the annotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to our drawing production tab, and we're going to go to the drawing model annotation area, hit the pull down, and we're going to remove the drawing model annotation. Now what we're going to do is, well, let me right click and go through this a little bit more. Let's look at another station. Let's look at 6+00. Come in here and you can see it's changed as well. Nothing matches. That profile moved. So we need to change this for all of them. So let's look at 5 here. Every one of them's off. So we're going to use our drawing model annotation, and we're going to remove the drawing model annotations for everything, all the drawing models. So we'll leave it at yes and left click. It'll process. They're all removed. But now we want to annotate it. So we'll go to our pull down again, and we'll do annotate drawing model. And in here, we're going to make sure we want to do it for all the models, except that. And then you'll pick your annotation group, which this one's at the without grid. If I hit the little button with the triple dots, I can go path out to that and find the one that I want. Major grid or with grid or without. We'll do without so we can see everything better. And then we'll go ahead and accept it. And when you do this, it's going to go out and it's going to process each station, every one of those drawing models. And when it's finished, you'll see that now the annotation has updated, and you can see that we now have 2:1 slopes over on that right side. You can see that the annotation now goes perfectly with the alignment, and you can also see that we do still have that 24-foot offset, even though we didn't label it. But that's how the dynamic cross sections work. So it's important to, when you create these name boundaries with the dynamic, with the cross sections in there, that your model's in a good position so that you can go back and just modify a couple things and it will be reflected in these name boundaries. That's all I got.